Hello and welcome. This is BearMountainBC.com's At the Post. There's some training runs. We'll do this time with regular runs, trials, or whatever that we go through. We're kind of going to give you our perspectives from the post. There'll be 3 videos inside this video. We'll look at a run from Marvel, Justin's young dog. We'll look at a run from Tater, Tom and Ruth's dog that my dad runs. And then we'll look at Truck, which is the one that's right now. My dad and Justin will be on to talk about the next couple of runs, but we had some technical issues whenever we recorded this one, so I'm going to just hop on here, kind of give my thoughts as we're going through. As you see, we're filming from the backside here. It's a really big, important piece, especially young, inexperienced handlers. If you can be on the backside and help set out, you're going to learn a whole lot. And so this video really tells us a lot of maybe where the dog's off. You can kind of see where the sheep are starting to go a little bit to the left there of the panels we have set up. And so points are coming off right there. Just imagine the course as if you started out with every point and then you're just kind of losing it along the way. That's kind of what we're seeing here. He's back online now. The sheep working really well, or the dog's working really well. This is Truck. He's a nursery dog this year. Staying off wide, staying nice and slow. That's something that we try to find the balance to, and I do a lot. I like to find that good, just past a walk, kind of light jog kind of pace we get the sheep and the dog at. And with Truck, that's a lot to handle, and you're going to hear my dad talk about that more in future runs. But yeah, right now he's just making the turn around the post, which is just himself for this. He does a good tight turn. It's something with young dogs you really got to be careful about. The tighter you make your turn, the easier it is to kind of get to where you want to go on your drive. But getting a young dog making tight turns is just a lot of added pressure, and you don't want to add too much pressure, especially a dog like Truck. And so he keeps it nice and smooth, keep it flowing, gets the sheep back in front of him. You don't want to just start driving from where you turn. You want to get them back straight in front of you so you can stare down that line. Whenever I'm working the drive, honestly, is my favorite part, is I can just stare the drive down. I can tell right away where I'm at, and I might miss a few cross drive panels. I do that from time to time. Not a ton, but just sometimes deception. You think you're online, you're not. Just there's some sort of weird, I don't know, curvature thing that's hard to kind of guide. You didn't pick it up. I had a lot of cross drives. I do miss sometimes, but drives, I don't hardly miss those because you got to make sure you get those. Just because you're staring at it, you have a great view. Take advantage of all your drives. So if you mess up later on, at least you didn't lose points there. A good turn, Truck gives right there. You see the way he's giving there. He's getting away from the sheep, opening up his shoulders, kind of running that clock, that imaginary circle, staying off that. Does it right there again too, that great turn. Anytime you can move your dog and not move the sheep, especially out there on the drive, cross drive, is huge. Because then you can straighten out, get back to where you're going. He has a really good flow. This course we just set up just kind of at the house. It's about 80, 60, 80, so 80 yards on the drive, 60 on the cross drive, and then about 80 coming back to pin on that last leg. That's still part of the drive. People forget that sometimes, but that'll say that later. But yeah, my dad walked out here. It's really kind of deceptive, and you think you're dead on, and he's just high. But the fact that he kept flowing the whole time, didn't try to bump and try to stay always right on, you can really tell. So points aren't coming off the whole thing until the end. You're losing some points because you miss those head going through, but you're not missing the whole way, or at least probably not as much as you would, just because the judge can't tell if you just come into that line. So the view that you have is the definitive view for now. Hopefully that makes some sense. Just come back this last leg, keep them straight, lies them down. Always like to do that. Let the sheep kind of run for a second until they start to settle right there. He bumped it a little hard. I like to come a little softer, but anytime you can have the sheep kind of settle right there, lie your dog down the way to pen, give them some room, because you need a lot of room at the pen. You need a ton of room at the pen. So get your dog back, get the sheep settled for a second, then have your dog kind of slowly come back in. And Truck did a pretty solid job of that right there. Shuts the pen. He's going to make sure he gets Truck back off the sheep. Good job there. Especially when I'm going to the shed next, and he's going to try that here. Truck's a young dog. It's not going to be successful. But anytime you get to the sheep and do that, it's really helpful. You get your dog, at the pen. Make him get back. Give you some room. So when you do get to the shed, it goes really well. And that's kind of my idea. I prefer to shed than pins. Like kind of set the shed up better. But there's some downsides to both. I don't mind pinning first. Because out here, what you want to have is the sheep string out. They kind of are there right now, with the dog's not in position. So sometimes you can remember if the dog's not in position, but if you can move yourself to get in position, leave the dog where it is, sometimes that works too. A lot of thought process. This is really the most intricate and difficult part of our course because it requires a lot of thought. And so we're going to have an episode where we kind of dive into it soon about sheds, but thank you guys, and we'll get Justin and Marvel. They'll run up next. And here we are with Justin and Marvel. This is what we call take 2. The very first thing we did for this test, she ran up here by these panels, and it kind of freaked her out, and then she just took off straight towards the sheep. But she was really calm. She called back, and we did this second go, and we had a good hour, a little short.
Yeah, she was a little short, a little hard on the lift there.
Yeah,
I think just was still feeling uncomfortable with the panels, the eye being back there. I think it threw her off a little bit. And then once she settled in, she just took it and
I
went.
probably got her for a couple, probably about 3 to 5 on the outrun, and a couple on the lift.
Yeah, I think that was.
And then she settled in and was real nice.
She settled in and took everything just like she needed to, and looked really good.
Yeah, I think probably 8 combined outrun left somewhere in there. Fetch. I don't know. What are you thinking?
You go.
Probably get her a couple there on the fetch.
You go
She was
for
off the
5, I
pie.
think.
Let's say 12 or 13 altogether off so far. That's what we're just thinking of minus points. Whenever you try, you kind of have every point to start with, and you just lose along the way.
Yeah.
So we're gonna keep that.
And then with her here, because I have never really practiced a trial setup with her at home, so we have literally just been out here in this field without panels or anything, just driving and shedding and doing different stuff with her. This is the first time to truly try this with her. So I learned with her, what you want to do is try to get as early as possible, get her to take that inside flank on a drive and come in between you and the sheep, and then she'll walk in and go on the drive. Otherwise, she wants to kind of keep flanking behind you, and then she's good to go. She does a lot of look backs.
One thing the younger dogs have a harder time doing. That we try to do a lot with these dogs, and some people don't think about it. Whenever you turn the post for your drive, people will just start like turn it and then just head straight towards the drive panels right from where they turned it at. And that's actually not where your line is. Your line is from you. And so you need to get your dog all the way back, the sheep, not your dog, the dog can be wherever, all the way back in front of you. And so that line from your eyes right to the drive panels, get as fast as you can back to that spot. It's tough to do with young dogs, they don't flank as well. But
And this is where the deception comes in. This is where the deception comes in again. It looks like she'd be right on line, but she's high. It was really, really deceptive. So the first time you run it, you're going to be high because it looks that way.
Yeah. And I thought I really had it here with her, and then I did
you
one
make a good
overcorrection
correction.
flank,
Yeah.
and she pushed past my whistles there,
Yeah,
and
she just
then
kind of pushed one step too far, and that was enough.
and that was enough for me to just fall short of the panels instead of going through.
And some mistake a lot of novice handlers will make, or just younger handlers, when they're inexperienced handlers, I guess. And they might try to go back and redo the cross drive, or once you've gone past it, you've lost your points, go ahead and move on. You do that.
Yeah.
You keep a good straight line from
Yeah.
there now.
Minimize your losses. Minimize your losses. Get back on line and keep going.
Yeah, minimize losses. For her, I knew I broke the plane. The sheep had passed the edge of that panel. They had broke past it. So what you want to do is, if you're doing that cross drive and you're fall low, make sure you've already pushed the sheep past that panel point and broke that line, so that way you can turn them down.
And now we have Dad and Tater going through this. I think we go through the whole course with the shed. Take us through your running.
He starts out really nice, really wide, like always. I don't know what stopped him here, but he starts to come up a little short. So I growl at him and then give him his whistle. He goes on out.
Which is why I hit Dad.
Finishes him
two
up.
commands.
Yes, I do where points come off. If you're looking at this as a judge.
And then that's pretty much it because he's dead straight.
Straight right through there, yeah. Saw him flanking well. Drift a little right there, but stay within the navigational beakers. pushing well.
Yeah.
The reason he probably, even like a young dog who, has some experience and is really solid, like Tater is, sometimes in lifting off of somebody when you don't do a ton is something that throws him off, especially when his bad way, which you might
Yeah.
have there. That's kind of why he came a little short. He was still off the sheet and started to come in a little flat there at the top. He corrected in a good training session. And I'm
But
thinking,
after his outrun, everything else was really nice.
maybe
really good
one or two
lift.
tops fetch.
Really straight, brings them in tight here.
Yeah. Maybe 5 or 6 total, I think.
Yeah, I wrote down what I thought, and then rewatching it, I changed it slightly because I had a better view. I hit him for 2 on the finish. I hit him for 5 on the outrun. There was a little bit of flat moment. The
Made a tight
whistles.
turn, got him right on the
Yeah.
line quickly, and then just kind of just takes off with him.
I'm filming this. He had a good pace going right now. He's not walking. He's kind of going fast walk, I guess. Sheep will go to good strong pace, keep him going like that. Hit the panels. I'm filming this from the back, and I think there's a lot you can learn from watching from this side. You can see any flaws the dogs may have, and it's what's beneficial to help set out sometimes.
And he just has a
Good tight turn there.
really good flow when he's driving. He'll stop himself sometimes. That's his only knock. He just every now and again he'll just stop. Again, tell him to get up.
What are some? What do you think on the post or go on the post at the drive, cross drive? When do you normally commit to making that turn? Should make a super tight turn and be aggressive, maybe miss,
I
or
want to
do you
be
let him go through first, give yourself a little breather?
like there. He was dead center. I
That was
learned for the
perfect,
first
yeah.
time. I like to get their heads through it before I send the dog.
So it's hard to tell, but yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Cross drive is easier to see, but drive it's
I
hard
don't-
to judge there.
If
I
they're,
like
at,
the. Go ahead.
if they're at a run, I'll start it ahead of time. But
Yeah, it's a good.
at this little trot or walk, I'll let their heads clear.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. The situation definitely changes things.
You don't want the biggest thing is you don't want your dog to over blanket and potentially pull them back inside the panel. You want to try to get that dog to stop at 90 degrees in that panel once they get behind it to kind of push them around it. If they get too far behind the panel, the dog does, you'll push them back in front, you'll be losing points. So you have to make sure the dog's not over flanking you there. So if you know your dogs, what they're going to do around that, sometimes you'll wait and you know they're going to over flank it and let them go past the panel before you actually go ahead and send them around. So the way they overflank it, they just basically just correct it back into the line.
And now we're bringing them out. Going to walk out to the shed ring.
Yeah, give a shot. Our pin. These sheep are really easy pinners, so it's not a great test. It's a good test for Tater. A couple sheep kind of want to split up already, so it's a good sign. You go to the shed ring and split those two off. You're working good here.
Just getting them set up. I like to get them kind of strung out a little bit so we can kind of.
Yeah, he did a good job staying off. That's key. You want the dog to be able to move to get in position to kind of find that. And we're kind of late there, but he did.
He zinged right through it.
Yeah.